two of DC's most powerful heroes, two symbols of hope, and two warriors destined to clash in battles that test their very souls. On one side stands Superman, the last son of Krypton. Born on a dying world, raised on Earth, and gifted with powers that make him a living god among mortals. Strength beyond measure. Speed faster than light. Invulnerability, flight, and vision that pierces through anything. The Man of Steel, on the other side? A boy, an ordinary kid chosen by ancient magic. When he speaks a single word, Shazam, lightning transforms him into the champion of the gods, the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. Together, these divine gifts forge one of the most powerful beings in existence, Shazam. From the outside, they look like allies. Both stand for justice. Both fight to protect the innocent. Both shine as symbols of hope. But deep down, their powers draw them toward conflict. Because Superman's strength comes from science, the alien biology of Krypton under Earth's yellow sun. Shazam's strength comes from pure magic, the very force Superman is most vulnerable to. And that single weakness changes everything. Imagine the battlefield. Superman soars through the sky, fists striking with the force of earthquakes. Shazam counters with lightning from the heavens, each bolt fueled by gods themselves. Punch for punch. Blow for blow. Neither man backing down. The clash isn't just physical. It's philosophical. Superman represents destiny shaped by heritage, a man born with greatness, using it for good. Shazam represents destiny shaped by choice, a boy given power, forced to grow into a hero. One was raised to be Earth's protector. The other was chosen to be Earth's champion. But what happens when protector and champion collide? Their fights in comics are legendary. In Kingdom Come, Shazam is used as a weapon against Superman. Controlled by the manipulative Lex Luthor, Billy Batson is forced to unleash his godly fury against the Man of Steel. Lightning rains down. Superman staggers. And for a moment, it looks like Shazam may be the only hero who can end him. Because unlike Darkseid or Doomsday, Shazam isn't a monster. He's not an alien invader. He's a hero. And that makes the battle even more tragic. Superman doesn't want to fight him. But he may not have a choice. And that's what makes Superman versus Shazam so fascinating. It's not just about who's stronger. It's about what each of them represents. Superman, the ideal of hope, the perfection of Kryptonian might. Shazam, the innocence of a child, armed with the might of gods. When they fight, it's not hero versus villain. It's hope versus destiny. Science versus magic. A man versus a boy forced to become one too soon. And in that clash, the world trembles. But battles like this don't end with one fight. They escalate. They grow darker. They test both heroes to their limits. Because the question remains, if Superman and Shazam truly went all out, if there were no holds barred, no limits, no mercy, who would win? The world sees Superman as untouchable, a man who can't be broken. But magic is his Achilles heel, and Shazam is the living embodiment of it. When lightning cracks from his fists, Superman feels it. The blows cut deeper than any kryptonite shard. And in those moments, the Man of Steel faces something rare, fear. But here's the twist. Shazam isn't a hardened warrior. Behind the godlike form is Billy Batson, a kid barely in his teens. A boy who once slept in subway stations, who dreamed of family, who never imagined wielding the power of gods. He may wear the mantle of a champion, but at heart, he's still a child. And that's where the tragedy lies. Because Superman isn't just fighting power. He's fighting innocence. Every strike against Shazam feels like striking down the very thing he's sworn to protect. Still, Shazam is no pushover. When he commits, he fights with the courage of Achilles. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't hold back. The lightning crashes again and again, each bolt burning through Superman's defenses. Imagine the scene. Superman charges, eyes glowing red with heat vision. Shazam counters with a word, Shazam, and the skies themselves erupt. The flash blinds, the thunder deafens, and in that chaos, Superman staggers. For once, the man of tomorrow bleeds. But raw power is only part of the battle. What makes this conflict devastating is the ideology behind it. Superman carries the weight of two worlds, Krypton and Earth. He's the symbol that humanity can be better, that strength can be merciful. Shazam, on the other hand, carries the burden of choice. He never asked for this power. He was chosen, and now every decision he makes feels like judgment from the gods themselves. So when they clash, it's not just fists, it's destiny itself colliding. And yet, there's something Superman has that Shazam doesn't. Experience. Clark Kent has lived as a hero for decades, battling gods, aliens, and monsters. Billy is still learning. His mind is young, his emotions raw. And when anger rises, when fear takes over, he's prone to mistakes. Superman knows this. And deep down, he doesn't want to exploit it. But in battle, hesitation can mean death. This balance has played out in countless comics. In Superman/Shazam, First Thunder, their alliance begins with awe. Superman sees a kindred spirit, someone with power on his level. But when he discovers Shazam is really just a child, his world shifts. How do you fight someone who could rival you, but is also barely old enough to understand responsibility? How do you strike down someone who could be your younger brother? That tension makes every fight heartbreaking. And yet, there's a dangerous side to Shazam too. The god's power isn't just strength, it's temptation. The same magic that empowers him can consume him. Anger, manipulation, or corruption can twist Billy into a force even Superman might not stop. In alternate realities, we've seen darker versions. Shazam turned into a pawn. Shazam turned into a weapon. And when that happens, Superman faces a nightmare. A boy turned god who cannot be reasoned with. So what's the cost of this rivalry? It isn't just bruises and broken bones. It's the emotional toll. Superman faces the horror of fighting someone he wants to protect. Shazam faces the terror of measuring up to his idol and realizing he might surpass him. Every clash becomes more than a battle. It's a test of morality, a test of what it means to be a hero. And sometimes, the price of being a hero is standing against those you admire most. But the fight doesn't end here. Because when magic and might collide, the world itself holds its breath. And in the final act, the question is unavoidable. In the ultimate clash of gods and men, who lands the final blow? When Superman and Shazam reach their breaking point, it's never just about victory. It's about what their choices reveal. Superman, with all his strength, could end the fight in an instant. A single calculated strike, one burst of heat vision, one bone-crushing punch. But he doesn't. Because he knows the moment he treats Billy as an enemy, he loses the very humanity he's sworn to protect. Shazam, meanwhile, wrestles with doubt. The gods in his veins push him to unleash everything. The wisdom of Solomon whispers strategies. The strength of Hercules demands power. The courage of Achilles tells him to never back down. But at the heart of it all is Billy Batson, a kid trying to prove he's worthy of the mantle. And sometimes, that inner child hesitates at the worst moment. Their clash is usually not in death, but in revelation. In Kingdom Come, when a corrupted Shazam is manipulated into attacking Superman, the showdown is apocalyptic. The sky burns. The earth trembles. Every strike feels like it could end the world. But in the end, Superman doesn't finish Shazam. He reaches out. He tries to save him from himself. Because more than an enemy, he sees the scared boy behind the lightning. That moment proves the true difference between them. Superman wins not by strength, but by compassion. But what if compassion fails? What if the boy inside Billy disappears? Alternate realities have asked this very question. A ruthless Shazam, unchecked by innocence, becomes terrifying. And even Superman, the Man of Steel, struggles against the wrath of divine magic with no restraint. In those worlds, the fights end differently. Sometimes Superman falls. Sometimes Shazam burns out, consumed by power. And sometimes, the Earth itself pays the price for their war. So who truly wins? That's the question fans have debated for decades. In raw power, Shazam holds the edge, Magic cuts Superman deeper than any weapon. But Superman's discipline, his mastery of his abilities, and his experience, they tip the scales. If it's a fight to the finish, many say Shazam has the upper hand. If it's a battle of endurance, strategy, and willpower, Superman remains the last man standing. The truth is simple. There may never be a definitive winner. Because the real conflict isn't about fists. It's about ideals. Superman represents restraint. The choice to hold back even when you could destroy everything. Shazam represents potential. The terrifying, incredible truth that the future rests in the hands of the young. And maybe that's why their battles feel so monumental. It isn't about who can punch harder. It's about what it means to be a hero. In the end, every fight between Superman and Shazam leaves the same mark. Neither leaves unscathed. Both carry the weight of their choices. And the world, it looks at them with awe and fear. Because when gods clash, mortals can only pray they remember mercy.